News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A car takes out a kitchen? Good morning, this is John King, filling in for Peter Christian while he's on vacation. We'll actually have the privilege of listening to a news report from Peter live from Scotland this morning. We have your newscast brought to you this morning by Diggit Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. For all of your excavation needs, call Glenn at 214-4292. The Hamilton police responded to a vehicle accident yesterday morning when a car crashed through a wall and injured 3 people. Lieutenant Steve Snavely explains what happened.
There's a motor vehicle accident on Old Corvallis Road at the Ravalli County Council on Aging building. The vehicle drove through the building, the kitchen area where they prepare meals, and the male and the female occupant of the vehicle were injured and transported, as well as a cook inside the facility was transported.
The car was still running when officers arrived, and gas lines were quickly cut off. Apparently, the car must have been going pretty fast due to the amount of damage.
It was towed out of the building. It was fully inside the building. I would say it was total. Significant damage here. In fact, it actually moved I think they said it was a 330-pound stove from one side of the room to the other side.
Officers are still investigating what led to the crash. There's not a major roadway leading near the kitchen side of the building, so the car would have had to go through the parking lot. The Flathead County Sheriff's Department is investigating after the body of a 38-year-old woman was found on a barge on Flathead Lake that was docked near Lakeside. Sheriff Chuck Curry says the woman's body was found Monday morning by work crews. Curry said Wednesday he wasn't sure if the woman's death was due to natural causes, accident, or suicide. He said there's no immediate indications of a homicide. Her body was taken to the state crime lab in Missoula for an autopsy and toxicology tests. The woman's name has not been released. Mule deer numbers in the Bitterroot Valley haven't been up to par as shown in previous years, even in the valley's trophy district. Rebecca Mowry with Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks has more.
We've basically been seeing these kind of long-term declines, not just in the Bitterroot, but kind of all across western Montana and the western United States. For example, we have been surveying hunting district 270, which is the most popular trophy district in the state right now, and that's here in the upper Bitterroot, the south Bitterroot. Within the last decade or so, we've seen improving buck numbers, and we've had fairly steady fawn recruitment as well. But for some reason, the overall population just keeps going down.
Mowry is studying why there's a decline. She says biologists will focus their survey to look closely at the does.
So we're capturing and radio collaring mule deer does and trying to determine what's causing that decline, because we think the important part of the decline is probably going on in the doe segment. A lot of people will suggest predators, and we're looking at that. We're going to be looking at sources of mortality. Is it predators that are killing them, and if so, which predators? However, we're also looking at the habitat as well.
The Ravalli Republic reported that in the early 90s, biologists counted as many as 2,500 mule deer in Hunting District 270. More recently, mule deer numbers in the same district peaked at over 1,700 in 2009. Numbers have been dropping ever since, with a low point of just 700 in 2012. Montana officials have disqualified 9 candidates for the Montana legislature for not filing required campaign documents. The candidates removed from the ballot on Tuesday include 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, and a Libertarian. The purging leaves 3 incumbent legislators without opponents in the primary or the general election. They are Republican Representative Mark Noland of Big Fork, Democratic Representative Bryce Bennett of Missoula, and Democratic Senator John Sesso of Butte. The removal of 2 other Democrats means Republican primaries will decide the winner of House District 71 and Senate District 18. State law requires candidates who missed Tuesday's deadline to file disclosure documents with the Commissioner of Political Practices to be taken off the ballot. Peter Christian may not be in the studio this week, but just because he's on vacation doesn't mean he hasn't found a way to put his reporting skills to work. Last night, Peter sent us this live report from Europe.
This is Peter Christian reporting from Edinburgh, Scotland. Since the Islamic terrorist attacks that occurred on Tuesday in Brussels, Belgium, that killed 31 and wounded over 200 others, I've spoken with several residents and business people who are deeply concerned, but not in a way that has frightened them into not pursuing their ordinary, regular way of life. In fact, what I have noticed is a very real business-as-usual attitude of the people of Scotland. Yes, of course, there is a heightened sense of watchfulness and awareness, but there are no official closures or warnings. A news report just moments ago here has UK officials encouraging Britons to keep calm and carry on. We're continuing our tour of Scotland and will return to London on Friday. Our flight home is scheduled for Saturday. Reporting from Scotland, this is Peter Christian for KGVO News.
People have asked, so I'll give you a little bit of an idea of Peter's route. He's going to be coming directly back to the U.S. and will not be catching a connecting flight in Belgium. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected an appeal seeking to close Montana's Republican primary elections to only GOP-registered voters. That means this June 7th primary will be open to all registered voters. The nation's high court denied without comment Wednesday the appeal by Montana Republican Party and 8 county central committees. The court takes up very few petitions it receives, but in this case, Justice Anthony Kennedy had requested more information about the issue. GOP attorney Matthew Monforton says that gave him hope that the court might intervene, but now he will focus on changing it and closing the primary for the 2018 primary.